All right, I'm taking a look right now at the World War III situation, and let's just see where we're at there as we approach the solstice. And our root card is a Three of Pentacles. So this is showing multiple organizations or countries or whatever in cooperation. The main card is the death card. So here we have cooperation that is leading toward some sort of fundamental transformation in the death card. And here, like the previous child is being sacrificed to make room for whatever is being born, it does show something being wiped out to make room for something new. And on either side, man. Okay, so the Page of Wands and the World. The Page of Wands reversed. The reversed Page of Wands is showing some entity or country or group or whatever, probably a younger one since they're shown as a page. But the fact that they're reversed is showing that it's like they are not believing in what they do. It's like they've lost hope or they don't believe in themselves anymore. So there's some sort of loss, maybe of conviction or something like that. And that leads up to the death card. Now, here, the Page of Wands is the child. And here in the death card, the child is being squashed to make room for the new child. So I'm pretty sure that these two are connected. So as this Page of Wands, if it's a group or a country, it's probably a younger one that loses conviction. And then here it just gets squashed to make room for the thing that's being born. And on the other side of that, we have the World, which is the last card of tarot. And this shows a great big change. This is like an ending. But the card that comes after the World is the Fool, and that's like the brand new journey, the new beginning. So we definitely have cooperation that is leading toward some big transformation, and there is some young energy that gets squashed to make room for it. I'm going to pull a card on this Page of Wands here just to see if we can find out what this is, and it looks like it is Ukraine. The Six of Wands is showing giving all of this energy, this money, and all of this stuff to the ghost. And it's like no matter how much you give to that ghost, nothing is going to change there. And I mean, just my gut feeling here is this is talking about Ukraine with all of the resources that are given, and it isn't going to change anything, right? Okay, so here it looks like this would say that Ukraine kind of becomes a sacrifice of some type to make room for the big change. Let's just see if we can find out what it is that is going to be born out of this. And it's the Emperor. So the Emperor would be the new controlling structure. The Emperor is all about control. And this might be, sort of making way for a new king or something like that. Now, the interesting thing here, I don't think this is showing a war. In fact, I think this might show the end of at least one war. And this looks like just a transfer into sort of a new understanding and a new deal. Let's just see what we get as far as like battles and the fighting and all of that. If the fighting is going to erupt all over the place or what the deal is. and we get a Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, these two people, they kind of put their own shit aside and they make a shared commitment toward a happy, harmonious space. So this is actually the opposite of new battles happening. You know, this is like, it would definitely show like some sort of peace agreement or some sort of deal being made, but this would create stability theoretically instead of war. Now that's interesting, but in all of this, this isn't showing any of the stuff that's happening in the Middle East. I mean, of course, the countries and the powers that are involved in Ukraine are also involved in the Middle East. But I think this is specifically talking about that piece of the puzzle. Now, let's just look specifically at the Middle East. I think what I'm going to do is collect these so we have the full lexicon. So we're looking, you know, the beginning of winter / the beginning of summer in the southern hemisphere, but we're looking at the solstice and the Middle East. I think we'll do the cuts here. Okay. And the root card is the sun reversed, and the main card is the moon. Holy shit. All right. That is pretty powerful. Okay, so these two are opposites. In the deviant moon, the sun happens when nothing is hidden. The sun is about shameless expression of truth, and it brings with it harmony. But the sun happens, like if this is a person, then the person isn't hiding anything about themselves. They're being exactly who they are, but they're also accepting other people for who they are. Now, when the sun is reversed, then this shows two raw energies that just cannot blend, right? They're both kind of being who they are, but that is why they can't be near each other. And that comes out with the moon. Now, one of the ways in which these two cards are opposite, in the sun, as it shows shameless expression of truth, the figures are naked because they're hiding nothing. Like it's exactly who they are, and there's no masks or clothes, you know, to hide their truth. Now, in the moon, you can see the figures are clothed because they're trying to fit in. They're trying to blend in with what everyone else does, and you can see the strings of manipulation as they're being puppeted around because they're not being true to themselves. Now, here we have these energies that fundamentally cannot be near each other, right? That it's this would be like a chemical reaction kind of thing. But what it shows is that they are pretending to be something else, you know, and this is interesting because these two energies are both being manipulated by the same thing. I'm going to pull one more card on this. It's really fascinating. Now, wow. So the Two of Swords, the Two of Swords is a stalemate to some degree. And I'm trying to see how it fits into these because we definitely have these two different energies, right? Now, in the Two of Swords, the two energies are actually the same creature. They don't know that. And they're against each other, not knowing that they're actually the same thing. Wow. Well, in a grander scale, all human beings are the same. You know, we're all like part of the same family. And maybe that is what this is talking about. Um, Geez. But as we look at the solstice and looking at this, I do not think that this is showing, you know, full scale battles coming from new directions. Because the two is like a stalemate. It's like a lock. Fear and desire are equally strong. Let's just see if there. I feel like there's something here that I'm missing. So what do we get? And it's the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, it's the tradition. I mean, the Hierophant is the church, but the Hierophant is like the traditional way that things have always been done. Now, we could look at this as the current world order or the traditional world order, the traditional powers that basically would control all of this type of shit. And here it looks like that tradition is not allowing World War III, essentially. Okay, so how firm of a hold does the Hierophant have? So the Ten of Wands would show that they've got their work cut out for them, right? But the Ten of Wands is like all of this shit work that someone does to get something done that they're trying to do. But the Ten of Wands upright would show that whatever the Hierophant is in this case would have the ability to control this. It wouldn't be easy and it would be thankless shit work, but they would be able to control this. Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to collect these and let's just see if, what have I not asked about? What else do I need to know about this? And keeping in mind that the question is really about the full-scale World War III. And we get a Knight of Pentacles. That's interesting. So the bottom here is the Chariot. And in both of these, we have like the person inside the vehicle. I honestly think this is about vehicles somehow. Like there's something about vehicles that is important here. If we take away the vehicle aspect of these two cards, which I don't think I can do, but let's just ignore it for the moment. And the Knight of Pentacles is pattern. It's like doing the same thing every day. It's a rigid, structured pattern. And the Chariot is having a very specific goal in mind. Now, I am going to pull one more. Let's just try to see what that goal is. Because whatever the powers are that would control whether or not World War III happens, this is saying that there is a specific goal in mind for that energy. And it's the star. So the star is like the blessing that comes down. Now, it is interesting that the devil is actually on the bottom of the deck right now, but I didn't specifically pull it. But it is interesting because the star and the devil here, we have the cool blue and the hot red. You know, this is kind of another one of those two exact opposites sort of thing. But the goal here is the star. Let's just look a little closer into this thing to see what the fuck this means. And I fucking have no idea. So I guess there's nothing specifically in the card. Maybe the water that's coming out of the pitcher. But I think the star is just like some sort of greater blessing. So the powers that would actually control whether or not World War III breaks out, they have a specific target in mind. And that target is shown in this card somewhere. I'm going to pull one more just to see if we can get fucking anything out of this, because I honestly am not seeing it. As I look at this, the Seven of Pentacles, which is normally about learning by doing, but what I'm seeing is the five-pointed star. And the five-pointed star. In fact, there are 7 stars in the star, and there's 7 pentacles in the 7 of Pentacles. So 7 stars. I don't know what that means. However, the Pleiades star cluster, it actually has more than 7 stars, but they call it the 7 sisters. So maybe the fucking aliens are going to show up, which I would personally welcome. I'd say it's about fucking time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to get out of this. I would love to hear any theories that you have on this, especially when this seems to be showing 7 stars. Like, I don't know what that means. Maybe you do. Please let me know if that is the case. Peace.
Is this the end of days? Will lava fill the base? I'm gonna grab some tarot cards, let's see what they say. Who controls the press? Was Will Smith possessed? Let's shuffle up the cards and we'll see. And what about the freaking aliens? Whatever could they be? Let's ask the cards and see. Come on to my Patreon. It's only $5.